Welcome back to Alone in the Dark, Part 2. We're going to pick up right where we left off. We just finished the astrology puzzle. So we're going to exit this room, and it looks a little different, but don't panic. Just run to the end of the hallway and everything will shortly go back to normal. This will happen several times throughout the game.
What's that stain? Looks like some kind of rot. Everything's back to normal.
Here, you do not have to inspect that. I'm actually not sure what it does. And as we check the map, I'm just trying to figure out the best way to get back to the library because that's the next place that we need to go. The map can be quite useful when you're not used to the layout. It took me quite a while to get accustomed to the layout of Derceto. So once we cross over that little balcony, it'll be the door on the right. And we can unlock that with the set of keys we got from Baptiste. And once you open the door, you'll get a cutscene. As usual, I've skipped that for you. Here on this small table, we have the Lost Plantations of Louisiana clue. Be sure to view it. And then we're going to walk over to Ruth and speak to her 3 times.
A Brightness from Afar by Lord Boleskine. It's actually not bad.
You know where Detective Carnby is?
Oh, you don't need him. You're doing fine.
I should probably go.
Until next time, chérie.
Now that we're finished speaking to Ruth, we're going to head through the double doors. Once you turn around from her, they're on the left. In this room, we can get a melee weapon. There will be lots of different melee weapons
It's wet shut.
that you can pick up throughout the game. This is just one of them. And as we try to exit back to where that large tree is, we get another one of those weird room shifts. And the door that was just unlocked is now locked. So walk through the mud around the round table and go to the small table by the window to get the gold bolt cutter. And as we unlock this door, things will go back to normal.
I don't understand what's happening.
And if you remember, when we pass through here, go downstairs to the door on the right, there is a small shed that also would require a bolt cutter. So lucky for us, we were able to find one. You do not have to go down by this tree. I only did that just to make sure there wasn't anything I could do to interact with it. But that won't be until much later and with Edward. So as we come through this door, we'll have a cutscene with Mrs. Thompson, which I'm going to skip. It's actually pretty annoying. And once that's over, where she was digging, we're going to pick up another Lagniappe. This is the Mummified Cat. And here you can just go in and check your Lagniappes. We're not even close to being finished, but don't worry, we will get there. Turn around and head over to the shed and unbolt that door so that we can complete a small puzzle.
It worked.
grab the water hose from the floor. You can grab the hatchet if you
what's
like, but it's just
this?
another melee weapon and will replace the fire poker if you grab it. Once we grab the water hose, we're actually going to backtrack just a short bit back to the room where we spoke to Ruth. So go to the door on the left and it'll bring us back into that room, and the table that she was sitting at, she's left her book, A Brightness from Afar. It's another lagniappe to add to the list. And we're going to head back down to where we spoke to Mrs. Thompson, the outdoor area, and complete that puzzle using the water hose. So directly across from the double doors that we exit from,
What's that?
you'll see here there's a hose that we can connect another hose to. Then turn around and go underneath the balcony. There's the cat again. And we can turn on the spout and it'll fill up that hole with water and cause the bucket to float.
There we go.
And once we get back to the bucket, just interact with it and we will get a broken plate piece. So now we have both of the plates that we need to interact with the clock. To get back over there, next to the shed is a ladder that's fallen down. Just pick it up, climb up, and we'll head to the left. Let's go back to the area where all of the patients have their rooms. Head up the stairs and we're going to go straight to that clock and do this puzzle.
This must be the clock mentioned in the commonplace book. This looks like the thing that held the talisman in the French Quarter, but it's
Add the
broken and
pieces that
missing
we've
pieces.
found,
I think I've
and then
seen
we
this
have to
somewhere.
move them around to make a picture. It's really not that difficult because there are only 9 pieces. So take the middle left piece and put it in the top middle slot. We take the right middle piece, move it to the left middle. The bottom middle, we will move that to the right middle. Then you can rotate those pieces to where the edges are aligned with the outer rim. Now take the left
There was
corner
something in the
piece
common
at the
place.
bottom and move it to the right corner piece at the top. The left corner piece at the top goes down to the left bottom corner. The left upper corner goes down to the right bottom corner. And then just adjust all of those outer edges to where they belong, and we will receive the On the Mend trophy, which is for completing a talisman puzzle. If you look at the clock and see the numbers on the clock, you can then figure out what numbers you need for your talisman. And those numbers are 6, 4, 3.
It's showing me something. That's just the hallway outside Jeremy's room, isn't it?
With that completed, we're going to go back to the door that has the 3 bedrooms for the patients. And as you go through the hallway, you will get a very short cutscene, and the door to Batiste's room will open. So head through there, and we see we've crossed over
I
to
opened up another dream.
a different world. Go to the hole in the wall on the right of the room, drop down, and the house directly in front of us with the light, we're going to go inside of there. If you need any consumable items, there are plenty in this little side room. Bullets, and I believe sometimes you can get health. But what we really want is on this
May
desk. It's the
1923.
oil rig
This is
report
the
clue.
devil that guides us now.
Be sure to view it. We can't do anything else in this house right now, so we're going to leave. And when we exit over to the right, there is another building with a light above the door. So go through the hole in the wall and the door on the left. In this locker is the J.I.T.B key, which is a key item that's unmissable. You need it to progress the story. And as we get ready to leave this room, make sure to unlock that door. There is a trophy associated with unlocking all doors and chests. So unlock that door, and then we're going to head back to the first house where we can use the J.I.T.B key. At this door behind the desk, we use the J.I.T.B key, which allows us to go around the back side and enter another building. If you look over, you may see some enemies in the swamp area, but don't worry, they're not gonna attack you or anything. Enter this little shed, and on that table is the bridge lever, which we need to progress.
Here we go.
So from here, we're gonna head back to the house we just came from with the big hole in the side. Once we drop down, or you can go through the house, either way is fine. There will be an enemy that spawns that digs around through the ground. He like tunnels through the ground, but you can just run around him and go to where this light is. We can attach the bridge lever and lower it to go to the other side. Now that we've crossed, head up the stairs, and we have to go around to the other side. There are a few items scattered about that you can pick up. There's another set of stairs, but they are broken. You can't go down. See these boxes here that I'm staring at? Don't go too far past them. You see the red barrel? We need to squeeze through this gap. If you go too far forward, you'll enter a cutscene. So go carefully and slowly here. Squeeze through the crates. And inside this suitcase is the discarded palette Lagniappe. This is one you definitely don't want to pass up. You can get it on the next playthrough if you do, though. Almost everything, if you miss it when you play through your first time, you can get it in the next time with the other character. Once we get out of this cutscene, we'll have an enemy that we have to fight, which is not difficult at all. These are the things that burrow through the ground. Once we've taken care of that one, we're going to run over to the right into this house with the light on the porch. This house doesn't have anything of super importance. It's pretty much just if you need to collect some health or some ammunition. If you decided to go inside, gather what you need, and then we can exit. Follow the path to the right And once we touch the ground, another enemy will spawn. But he's most likely gonna either stay there if you don't go too far, or he'll burrow into the ground and come after you. Here I was trying to get him with a melee weapon. I should have just shot him, honestly. Because once they burrow down, if you're on an elevated area and not touching the ground, they won't emerge. So you kind of have to bait them out. See here, I have a Molotov. I was trying to get the trophy for killing an enemy with fire, but we're not going to get it here. It'll be a little bit later. See, I just ended up setting myself on fire, which, you know, kind of sucks, but I didn't take too much damage, so it'll be okay. Then we go over to where that enemy popped up, and we need to use the melee weapon to break down this barrier, which is going to give us the Thin Veneer of Civilization trophy, just for breaking a barrier with a melee weapon. You should get it naturally, probably right here in your playthrough. In this area, there are 3 houses. Because this is our first playthrough, we're going to check all of them. So start out with the one on the right. As you come through that barrier you broke, just start off on the right. In here there is an enemy. You can sneak through and you won't bother him. Which, just because there are items over there, I'm going to go ahead and take them out so I can get over there safely. And I'm pretty much staying full up on all of my pistol rounds, so I don't really have to worry about wasting any. When we exit out of here, we're going to go to the next house to the right. There are no enemies in here. This is just regular items. Like I said, if you don't need them, you do not have to come in here. And we won't be coming in here in the second playthrough. Then we need to head over to this house, which you can hear music playing from it. Squeeze through the gap to enter through the back door. And inside of here, we are going to find a Lagniappe. But once we pick it up, it will trigger an enemy. This is the Gazing Statuette Lagniappe. The way the Lagniappes work, you kind of feel like you're making progress because you'll get 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3 on several of them, but you still don't have any sets complete. But don't worry, they will all be complete by the end of this series. You'll see me do this periodically, just kind of checking through to make sure that I've viewed everything. If you can dodge away from him and then squeeze through the gap, you actually don't have to kill this enemy. He won't follow you through that gap. Now that we've found everything here, you see where the oil rig is. We need to head there. And there's going to be quite a lot of sneaking through here so that you don't have to engage with the burrowing enemies. They are very good about showing you where they are. You'll see dirt pop up wherever they're burrowing. They leave a trail. See there? So we're going to wait and see which way this enemy goes. And then we can just sneak through, and as long as you don't step right on top of where they are, they're not going to bother you. There can be a lot of tension with this area because you don't know how fast they're going and if they're going to burrow up behind you. But it seems like your character sneaks just fast enough to where they won't catch up to you. And you don't have to sneak over this bridge, but just out of an abundance of caution, I did. Because the next area we're going to is pretty much the same. We're going to have to sneak around the burrowing enemies, and there will be one that is out, just sitting on the ground. So if we sneak by him, we won't trigger him to attack. There is a melee weapon and some ammunition in this box if you need it, but the bridge is out, so we have to find another way to get across. You can see over on the left the enemies burrowing there. Where the barrels are on the right, there's an enemy just on the ground there, resting. But if you sneak by, you won't bother him. Go and pull the lever here and then climb up the ladder. Once we're on top, we'll see we've started a fire. So we need to cross over this plank. And you won't fall off. Climb up the next ladder. From here, we're going to go around to the opposite side. And we're going to pick up cloth. This is a key item. You can view it if you like.
Just don't look down, Emily.
And then we're going to use it to zip line down this wire. Once you get control back, just follow the path. We'll get a short cutscene.
How is that?
I have to say, the jump scares in this are not very scary. It could just be me, because I've played so many scary games and seen so many scary movies. It's just not scary anymore. But if that one scared you, let me know in the comments. Keep following the path. You'll see lots of dead bodies wrapped up on these sort of wooden pillars. And you'll get a cutscene when you go inside the hateful mound. And as we come out of it, we're back inside of Derceto. When you gain control of Emily again, be sure to check the bag on the floor.
I'm back at Derceto.
That gives us the left holding the bag trophy, which is story related and unmissable. We also get the palette knife, which we're going to be using in just a moment. And we get the reflections
decision choosing one career over
clue.
the other, or even who I should marry. Leaving the stage,
It's a really long title.
isn't a matter of course correction. It's a rejection of the story that the
This is
creators
automatic and story related. You can't miss it. And we're also going to get the sitting room key. So immediately go to the door on the left, and we can use the palette knife to unblock the door. And as we go inside, on the table, you get the Barlow lens instruction
while
clue.
looking through your eyepiece.
To
Simply
the
search for a
right, there
position
is a
where your
telescope,
picture is clear
and we will have to
appears
find
flat.
the lens
When
to attach
correctly
it to the
tuned,
telescope
your
and solve a
telescope
puzzle
should
later.
present a clear picture with magnificent magnification.
On the other side of the table is the cellar key. This is a key item, And then go over to the table by the window and we get the dog collar lagniappe and the Don't Mind If I Do trophy. That is for completing a lagniappe set. And as you can see, this lagniappe set will give us access to the shotgun, which is in a case on the wall in the previous room. So we're going to head over there now and pick up our shotgun.
Now this'll come in handy.
Once you've collected your new weapon, we're going to head back into the library.
It's blocked.
And as you can see, we get another room change. 2 enemies will spawn. Just take them out, and you can't exit the room until they're both taken care of. They are not too difficult. They kind of remind me a little bit of the mold monsters in Resident Evil 7. Not as scary though, not even close. So once we finish with those, the door will unlock and we can exit.
Okay, that wasn't so bad.
From here, we're going to go downstairs, underneath the servant stairs, and go back into the cellar. You can enter the boiler room, which is the first door on the right. And we will find the pieces of plate clue, which was not here the last time we were in this room. So be sure to grab that, and then we're going to turn around. Oh, I hate how the doors do that. Because if it starts closing, you have to wait for the animation to finish before you can open it, and then it opens the opposite way. It's super annoying. Go to the opposite side and we can use the cellar key here on this locked gate. Straight ahead on the wine rack, which you'll see me struggle a little bit to interact with it. This is very common in this game. It's very finicky about where you stand in order to interact with objects. You'll find the Forsaken Crucifix Lagniappe. Once we're finished with that, if you turn to the right on the rack over here, we're going to find a switch. And if you notice, a rat just ran by our feet, and you see on the left there, it got shocked in the water, which should let us know, oh, we have to turn off the power. Use the switch in the corner to turn off the power. And then we'll head over to where the rat got shocked and pick up the valve. And that will allow us to go and switch off in the boiler room. Remember, there was steam coming out of it. We can use that valve there. With the power off, there will be an enemy just waiting at the end of the hallway. You can sneak through so as not to alert him and head back to the boiler room, which he woke up when I stood up, so we're going to take care of him. Go around, use the valve, and then we can get to the other side of the boiler. And in here, we will get a very short cutscene.
Jeremy? What the hell is that? What? There was a dead body in here.
Once that scene ends, we can pick up a broken plate piece on the ground where the man was sitting.
Did I just imagine that?
But we still need one more piece before we can do the boilerplate puzzle.
It's another one of
So
those
here,
plates for the talent
I'll
show.
just put it in to get
It's
it out of
also
my
broken and
inventory,
missing some
but
pieces.
we are going to have to come back. So exit to the left, and we're going to go up the stairs. Go around and go up the stairs one more time. And the door on the left at the top,
It's
we
wet
can
shut.
use the palette knife to move the
It worked.
wedge and get inside of that door. Go across and unlock the next door. Again, we do have a trophy for unlocking everything, so don't forget to unlock that door. And just be aware, some doors do tend to lock themselves. Through these double doors, we are in a new room now. We're going to head to the left. There are a few items scattered about, but what we really want is the Beignet Lagniappe here on this table. This door is also locked, so we want to unbolt it and open it up. And we head back around to the other side because we have to go the long way because it's blocked off. And we're going to go through these double doors on the opposite side, and there's a staircase. So as we head down and go through the next set of double doors, we'll get a short cutscene, which I'm going to go ahead and skip for you. Once that cutscene's finished, on the ground directly in front of us is the Syringe Lagniappe, which gives us a completed set. It just gives us some knowledge. On the broken piano, we'll find the medicine box key. And just consulting the map, you can see we're in the grand parlor on the first floor. Here I'm checking a lot of this stuff because you see I got shotgun shells. I'm just making sure that we are full up on the shotgun shells. So those double doors are blocked from the other side. So we have to go through these, which take us into the dining room.
There's more of that
And
unsettling
in the
look.
fireplace,
On the
we
commonplace
have
of
the evil clue on the commonplace of evil. Be sure to grab that. We're going to unbolt this door, which is going to lead us to the servant stairs again. See at the top? If we head back into Lottie's room, remember the medicine box, we can use the key to open it up and get the lozenges. We're going to use those for a puzzle. Head over to the window, and once you close it, you can then pick up the nurse's watch lagniappe. As we leave, we're going to head upstairs again. Open the door that was wedged to the left. And we can again go into the mezzanine. This is the top of the grand parlor. Yeah, if you're standing in the middle of a doorway, you can't open your map. It won't let you. You have to actually be in a room for it to trigger the map. So we're going to head to the left and go through those double doors. We unlocked them earlier, but we didn't actually go through. This takes us back to the bedrooms. Yeah, we're just picking up as many shotgun shells as we can find. At the end of the hallway, we're back by the clock puzzle and the door directly across. We can now unlock it with the sitting room key. And we're going to get another
Come on,
cutscene.
Grace. I'm too tired for games. I'll even let you play with my jackknife. Oh, good evening.
Once that's finished, we can inspect the globe in the corner of this little hall area. We don't have what we need for this yet, but just
there's
to
something
show
missing.
you, we need a piece to do something with that globe. Then you want to enter Grace's
This is
room,
Grace's room.
and on her desk is
Don't you
a
worry,
small
Grace.
request clue.
Cute.
And then in the corner on the chair, we will get the Jack-in-the-Box Lagniappe. This one you have to interact with it and wait for it to play and wait for it to stop moving before you can actually pick it up as an item. In my first playthrough, I actually interacted with it and then just ran out and then came back later and was like, how did I miss this? But you just have to wait for the animation to finish. Once we exit Grace's room, we're going to go
This must
into
be
the
great
next,
Cassandra Beauregard
go to the
too.
right, and the next room on the
Not sure
right.
what I expected.
On the desk in the middle, we have a liniment, which we're going to
Maybe
use
something
for
more
a puzzle.
extravagant?
Around the other side,
Miss
there is
Beauregard,
the Your
I picked-
Medicine clue next to the typewriter. Don't forget to pick that up. So
There's
here
more
by
of
the
it.
window,
There's a
you
lot
can
on
see
the
there are 2 bottles already there.
wonder
We're
what
going to
that
place
means.
the 2 bottles we just picked up. And this is a very simple puzzle. You can see there's like a mold growing on the labels. You have to turn the bottles to where you can kind of make a snake with it. As you can see, it's pretty obvious how they're supposed to go. So just move them around like that. They almost kind of make an
Right with the
M,
shape of
but
a
it's
snake.
a
Is that
snake.
telling
And then
me
you look at the
something?
numbers on the labels.
Maybe it has to do
There
with
should
the
be 3
on the
numbers.
bottles.
You'll use your journal, associate the
Another
numbers
one of those
with
peculiar
the
padlocks.
astrology signs. The numbers are 257, so that translates to Pisces, Gemini, and Leo. And input that into the lock. And we're going to get our last piece of broken plate that we can use on the boiler. And with that,
Another
we're going to
piece of
end the
broken
video.
plate.
Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe if you have found this helpful. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Until then, J.I.T.B always has wares.